Welcome back, Lotus fans. It's Bryant Cook, and today, obviously, we're playing Lurrus Lotus Breach, my favorite modern deck. I uploaded a video about 3 weeks ago that you can go check out. It will actually be in the card above, so definitely go watch that. There will be an in-depth deck check on this list in case you missed it, because that list was very different. There's a lot of major updates in that list, including Force of Negation, Prismatic Ending. I cover everything in that video, so definitely go check that out. That video is actually on its way to being one of our most popular uploads. It's most likely going to make the list, so thank you to everyone that's watched it. And if you haven't watched it, I would highly recommend it. It's a league where we just dominate with this new list. And I've received so many messages from a lot of you with your success stories with this 5-color Lurrus Lotus Breach list. Prismatic Ending, removing Alpine Moon's Force of Negation to stop other combo decks, but also Blood Moon. It really does do it all. And honestly, I think we're sort of at a point where there's not a whole lot to change about this deck until there's a new printing or a major metagame shift. I feel like this list is really, really refined. So if you're playing Lurrus, you know, I'm happy for you. This deck is really sweet. Unfortunately, with my recording schedule, I've only played this deck once since the last time I recorded it 3 weeks ago. So today I might be a little bit rusty. I hope not, but you never know. Is there anything else to cover? I don't think so. I'm just looking over the list one more time. I think that's all I've got. So if you have any questions, put them down below. But if it's a question about the deck list, I'm probably just going to redirect you back to that previous video. I hope we crush today. I really do. I love this deck list. I think it's so good, and I don't think that I want to change anything anytime soon. Oh, there's going to be a sideboard guide available for this for every middle tier member of our YouTube channel. So if you want a sideboard guide for this deck, definitely join our middle tier. It is our, what is it called again? Stormtrooper tier? Yeah, that's it. Stormtrooper tier. Where you can get a sideboard guide. Can't talk. Sideboard guide for this deck list. Sorry. It's been a long day. It's Friday night. And I'm just going to hop right on in. I will see you in match number 1. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to click that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. That said, there's no better way of showing your support than becoming a member of this channel. You get sweet perks, and we get to keep making combo content. The perks get better and better each level you go up. They also stack. To start off, with our Storm Fan tier, you unlock our private members section of our Discord, which comes with a highlighted user profile and then some awesome badges and emotes for YouTube. Looking for sideboard help? Become a Stormtrooper, our middle tier, for 2 sideboard guides of your deck choice every single month, on top of 50% off donation decks. Did we mention you also get 10% off merchandise from our shop? With our top tier, the Combo Cabal, you get a free donation deck every single month, 15% off merchandise from our shop, early access to private deck lists, and the most valuable perk in my opinion, videos early. That's right, you heard it, early access to all videos. But maybe sweet perk, secret deck list, early access to videos isn't for you, but you'd still like to show your appreciation. Make sure to check out theepicstorm.com/shop for card singles and Storm swag. Please don't forget to use your membership discounts. Finally, if you want to see your combo deck here on this very YouTube channel, make sure to visit theepicstorm.com/donation decks, where all you have to do is attach your TXT file and pick a donation tier. With our Epic tier, you can even join me in a video to showcase your bold brew in person and explain the ins and outs of your strategy. Card availability won't be an issue due to our new sponsor, Card Hoarder. With Card Hoarder, renting is super easy. If you're looking to get into Magic Online, there isn't a better, more affordable solution than Card Hoarder. Fun fact, you can rent the Epic Storm for 7 tickets a week, which is just a great deal. There are many ways you can support us. Just pick whatever is best for you. In the meantime, let's play some Magic. Welcome to match number 1. We are on the play. Lurrus Lotus Breach. I did try a Kahira list recently, so you can also go check that video out. But it feels good to be playing Lurrus again. And this seems fine to me. I mean, it's pretty disruptive. We have access to Lotus. Seems like a no-brainer. No companion for our opponent. Okay, we're just going to go get our Watery Grave and cast Inquisition of Kozilek. Yes, I would like to pay 2 life and cast the Inquisition. Targeting our opponent. Okay, so there's Saheeli Combo. This Lotus Cobra doesn't really do a whole lot, so I think I'm going to take the Saheeli Ride, because in case they top deck another, I can Force of Negation it. The other cards don't really matter. Windswept Teeth, and they're going to pass the turn. So now we can play Wishclaw Talisman. I think I'm going to hold back the fetch land. I just don't want to know which land I want to fetch yet, so normally I would fetch there trying to fill out our graveyard for escape, but we're several cards away from winning anyway, so I think the information on a potential color to get matters a little bit more. Like, in reality, it's probably Steam Vents, but you never know. You might want to get white for Lurrus or a second Watery Grave. I don't know. There's options here. They played an island. I mean, we probably don't want to play Lurrus. They have double Solitude, but, you know, just talking things through. And they're passing. Choosing not to play the Cobra. Okay, I think I'm just going to go get Steam Vents and cast the Consider. No, I do not want a land. Another Wishclaw. Not the worst card. Seems fine. So they have 3 unknowns in their hand, one of which was apparently a breeding pool, and now they're playing Cobra. So when this land enters the battlefield, Lotus Cobra will trigger, so they'll go up to 2 mana here because they get the mana from from their land and then the mana from Iteration. I'm gonna let Iteration go. They've already played a land, so this is essentially just like anticipation. Okay, draw. Another Consider. Cast it. I'll keep that. Fetch. Probably doesn't matter which one we get here, but I guess I'll get the second Watery Grave. Play Wishclaw Talisman and pass the turn. Another Windswept Teeth. And another Teferi. Well, it's pretty free for me to force the Teferi here, because otherwise these forces don't do anything. So Teferi's been exiled. Okay, now our opponent's moving to combat. We're going to fall to 11 life. They have 4 cards in hand and we know 3 of them. Cast Consider. I will keep Underworld Breach. That is likely a win. So we activate Wishclaw Talisman and go get Lotus Field. And then this Wishclaw goes to get Scour. I think it's just an easy peasy win. Okay, blue, player field. And then we're going to sacrifice 1 Watery Grave and 1 basic island. Let's untap that Lotus Field. You may notice I'm playing foil Twiddles for the first time in my life. I usually don't like foils on Magic Online, but I'm so sick of looking at Whiteboarder cards that I decided to try it. So enjoy my foil Twiddles. Let me know if you'd prefer if I ran these or if you think I should go back to the Whiteboarders. I don't really care either way. And now we're going to Twiddle. Okay, untap. Now let's activate the Wishclaw. Go get Tome Scour and cast it, and we have the loop. Okay, so at this point we just have to execute the combo. Pretty simple stuff. Alright, so I'm gonna Twiddle. I like leaving a blue floating if I can, just in case. So if I, for some reason, mess up, I get a little bit of wiggle room. Our opponent's at 15. I've milled a Wish. I kind of wonder if I can just win from here. Alright, it's from 7. Untap. Add red. So I'm 1 short of Wish, Grape Shot. So let's Twiddle one more time. Yes. Add red. Let's cast Wish. And our opponent has conceded. So we've taken game number 1 over this 4-color SaheeliCat Combo deck. Going to game 2. I wouldn't be surprised if this was an endurance deck, but I'm not sure if I'm supposed to board in Pact of Negation versus the Teferi deck either. Give me a second to look at Goldfish real quick. There is a 4-color Blink deck. I want to look at its sideboard. Endurance, Veils, Alpine Moon. I did see white, so Alpine Moon could be a possibility. Let's look at 5-color Omnath. Chalice, Alpine Moon, Endurance. So I guess we're somewhat interested in both endings and Pact of Negations. So against a faster deck, or a slower deck, I mean, I don't mind taking out Considers because we're not really looking to fill our bin quickly. So that leaves us at 62. I like leaving in Baubles for filling up the graveyard. Never mind, that was a change I made. Once we went to, sorry, like I said, I haven't played this deck a whole lot. Once we went to Force of Negation, I started boarding out Baubles instead. So we're going to board out Bauble here. And then I have 2 more cuts to make. Tough choice. I think maybe we only board in like 3 ending or possibly even 2. I think you also might be able to shave a Force of Negation here. They are a SaheeliCat combo deck, but I don't know if we need that many. But it also stops Alpine Moon. Alright, I'm going to go down to 2 ending instead, and let's try this. I can always readjust, or I could board out a single cantrip for this ending. Alright, I'm just going to do 2 ending. Let's try this. I don't have solidified game plans for a lot of this stuff. It's just me learning as I go, and, you know, that's part of what Magic is. I don't think I board the same all the time anyway. This hand seems okay. We don't have access to Lotus Field, but it is disruptive. We have a cantrip. I think I'll try it. We're on the draw. Can't be that bad. Breeding Pool. Oath of Nissa, you got it. Sanctifier and Vec, sure. Draw. Visions is not a bad one. Yes, let's pay 2 life, and let's cast this Inquisition. This is only Planeswalkers that gets the color effects, yeah. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to take Veil or Fluster. I think it's Veil, but I'm not actually sure. Draw. Did not hit a land. Let's consider see if we can find one. Did not find a land. We're passing the turn. So it'll be interesting to see if they play SaheeliCat here or the Sanctifier. Okay, so they've used both copies of Flooded Strand. They choose Sanctifier, which is fine. So they have Fluster, SaheeliCat, and 2 unknowns. Draw. Not a land, a little bit dicey. Serum Visions. Alright, so there's a land on top, but we have to move to discard here. I think we just get rid of the Wish. We don't actually need it. Land number 4 into Saheeli. Teferi. I don't think it matters which I pitch here. If they want to fluster this, like, it's fine. Sure. I wouldn't have pitched Twiddle to fight over Teferi. It's just, like, not smart in my opinion. So they can pick up their Oath of Nissa here. Okay, and they chose not to. So I think here we might want to consider removing the Sanctifier. And then next turn we'll consider playing the Wish Claw. There's just not a real reason to play Wishclaw because we know that we're not going to use it next turn, so it's kind of just a wasted play where we could save 2 life with that Prismatic Ending. And they've played SaheeliCat. Yep. So we do not know the last 2 cards in their hand. Draw. Alright, let's play Wishclaw and pass the turn. If we draw Lotus Field, we have a win, but I think it's a little bit of a tall ask. Okay, they've plus their Teferi, and another Teferi. Probably going to bounce the Wishclaw. Okay, they played a land, and they're using their land. Ice Fang, sure. Draw. Another Pact. Not really what the doctor ordered, but we'll play out a Wishclaw anyway. One has 2 cards going up to 3 with their draw step. The Healy's minus doesn't appear to be that relevant for the deck. Progressive iteration, sure. Come on, deck, please give me a Lotus Field. Lotus Cobra is exiled to the Expressive. Oh, they had a land drop. I didn't realize that. So with this fetch land, they will be able to play the Lotus Cobra. Ice Fang, okay. Blessing Teferi, 2 cards in hand. Ouch, we're going to 9. Draw. Considered's probably not going to do it here. Let's cast it, though. That does give me a win next turn, I believe. So they're going to attack for 6, 7 with SaheeliCat. I'm going to be dead to SaheeliCat, actually. Oh, no, I guess SaheeliCat can copy Ice Fang, and that would be 7. It's essentially the same as plussing. I'm going to keep the Misty. Play it and pass. These Pact of Negations aren't doing anything, unfortunately, right now. Alright, so we're going to 8. They have 3 cards. We're pretty much in the spot where we need them to just not have anything in order to win. Okay, so they can play a Misty here. The extra ability on Omnath could be lethal damage as well if for some reason they have another way of cheating a land in a play. 1 swept to hand. They've already played a land. Alright, so we're taking 6 here, going to 2, and then I can fetch with Misty. Okay, we're going to fetch. Go get Steam Vents, and let's attempt to win the game, but they have 3 cards in hand, one of which is a land, we know that. So let's try this out. I don't think we're going to be able to win, but you never know. We'll tap this for blue, play Lotus Field. Are they really F6'd? Untap. They're F6'd. Breach. Okay. Untap. Looking good for the home team right now. Untap. Yes. Untap. Remove these. Yes. Add some red mana. Play Wish. And now we get Scour. Alright, Scour went through. As long as our opponent isn't, like, trying to cheese us somehow, we should have this. Unless, like, they're sitting on Veil of Summer, I think that's going to be good enough when it isn't. But I'll untap Lotus Field. Yes, that's from 10. What's the gain 4 life on this? So they can gain 4 with Omnath. So that puts them essentially at 23. That's what they're hoping we miss out on. Consider Visions. Yes. So I have 7 cards. It's not quite enough to go Wish, Twiddle, Grape Shot, because I would need 9 for that. So we're going to scour ourselves. Remove the Dreams Grips. Let's keep these foil Twiddles in our graveyard. Okay, target ourselves with the Scour again. Tap our Lotus Field. Scour. Alright. It's from 14. At this point, by the time we can cast Grape Shot, I don't think the life is going to matter. Scour ourselves again. This is going to go down to 3 cards in deck, so there won't be a point to Tome Scour anymore after this. Alright, Twiddle, untap. Remove the Scour, we just don't need it. Untap. Twiddle again. Okay. Yes. One more Twiddle because we need 7 mana. 6 isn't enough because Wish plus double Grape Shot is 7. Remove the Scour. This gives us 8 mana. So now we can cast Wish. Remove Pact. Hold on. I want to do the math really quick. So it removes 3. This should work. Pact. Twiddle, Twiddle. Done. And then double Grape Shot. I can Grape Shot again after this. So even if they want to fetch, we still have another Grape Shot that's active. Clicking through. And they're going to fetch to gain some life, but we can just Grape Shot them again after this. Yep. Storm 20, but Storm 20 is not enough here, so we do need a second copy of Grape Shot. If the Teferi wasn't in play, I actually could have increased my Storm a little bit more with these packs, but the Teferi stops me from casting the packs. And then we exiled the last of our graveyard. Just like that. Click through, and that's match number 1. I hope you enjoyed it. We are 1-0 with 4 rounds left to go. See you there. If you haven't joined them already, I would recommend opening up our description down below and joining our 7 social media networks. They're each great in their own way, but I would strongly suggest joining our Discord server. In there, you will find others just like you looking to improve their Storm game and grow as a combo community. If you're a member of our YouTube channel, you should sync your account to Discord to unlock our private member section that has the latest and greatest deck lists, concepts, and much, much more. Let's get back to comboing out. Hey there, round number 2, we're on the draw. Our opponent has revealed a Lurrus, so have we. This hand's pretty good. Obviously, Lotus Field plus Wish Claw is a strong start. Let's see which Lurrus deck they're playing. Okay, could be Shadow or just Rakdos midrange. Okay, Regavan doesn't give us a whole lot of info here. Draw. Hallowed Fountain. Grab an island. Cast Vision. We have to remember the card we put on top is going to be Exile to Regavan. Bottom that, and then we can put the land on top. So that way we're not giving our opponent a real spell. Okay, Marsh Flats. I guess it could be Death Shadow, but probably not. Yeah, this is just pure Rakdos. So they're going to exile our land, go up to 3 mana. So the problem with pure Rakdos is that they are likely to have a K command. And Voidwalker's tough for this specific list. We don't really have the main deck bounce spell, and it's tougher to exile. We did draw Wish, which is our out to it, but it's still difficult. Fetch. Grab Watery Grave. Yes, I'd like to pay 2 life. And let's play the Claw. Okay. So we're going to be taking 5 here, going down to 9. We're also pretty low on life already. Ooh, they chose not to attack. That's interesting. Whittle, okay. They can cast the Wish now. That's a bummer. So they can discard Wish and then cast it for free off the Voidwalker and get Alpine Moon. Oh, that's a blowout. Okay, they're just crushing us here. That's all I need to see. We can just go to the next one. Okay, so we did not get game number 1 over Rakdos midrange. So Pact of Negation is not a card I think we need here. I'm also not in love with discard spells in the matchup because our opponent can reveal them to blow us out with a Ragavan. I am interested in all of the removal though. So these cards, the Void Snare, even the Echoing Shirt. So these are all cards I'm somewhat interested in. You could leave the Void Snare in the board so that way you can wish to be Blood Moon, but I almost feel like it's better to have it in the main deck. So the question is, what do you board out? And I think it's probably just Force of Negation. I think that's just got to be it. You also maybe look to board in the group shot to like answer some stuff over a Force. Because like Force isn't that good here. Could also leave like 1 Inquisition in the deck. Let's try this out. Knowing my luck, that will be the 1 Inquisition we reveal the Ragavan though. Okay, on the play for game number 2, revealing our Lurrus. Solid. Keep. Okay, I think we're probably just gonna go get Watery Grave to start off here. Because that way we're not losing scry equity with the Serum Visions. Alright, so starting the game at 17. It's also worth noting Watery Grave and Hallowed Fountain does cast Lurrus. Another Lotus Field is not the perfect draw. I think we'll just keep both of these. Blackleaf Cliffs, Ragavan. So that's kind of annoying because now the Ragavan is going to hit our Wish. I suppose I could just twiddle the Ragavan to stop that from happening. Because that Wish represents the Tome Scar we need in order to win. And I couldn't Void Snare it because the thing has dash. And now we can tap it. Yes. Blood Crypt. Sure. So they're going to hit our Breach here. Ooh, they took the Void Snare. That means that they must have something good. Yeah, that's something good. Okay. In theory, I could actually play Breach and then beat this. Because this Lotus Field taps for red. So then we can play Breach into the Void Snare, into the Wish. But for now, I'm just going to put the Lurrus to my hand. Pass the turn. The Ragavan's going to knock me down to 15. Voidwalker. That is a problem. And another Thoughtseize. I think they're probably supposed to just take the Breach. They chose Lurrus. Okay. Voidwalker's a problem here. There's nothing really good that I can get with the Wish. I think I just have to pass. What sucks about the Voidwalker is that they can sacrifice it, cast Lurrus for free, and then replay the Voidwalker. Alright, so we're going to fall to 13 life. And they hit a Twiddle. Torok, that's a bummer. Hey, hit the 2 worst cards in her hand. That's, you know, a thing. Come on. What are we even rooting for here? I don't even know. Prismatic Ending? Not Flooded Strand? I boarded in literally all of my stuff for this Wish. Crap. Yeah, I'm just in a lot of trouble here. So they have 9 damage coming in. So if I fetch Lightning Bolt's lethal. Yeah, this just seems like a brutal matchup, especially with the way our opponent's drawn. I think they've drawn a little bit higher than average, but yeah, this has not felt good. Another twiddle effect. They're choosing to sacrifice the walker. Cast my Lurrus of the Dream Den. And then replay Voidwalker. And another Voidwalker. Yeah, I'm just dead here. I could draw the E for 2, and I don't think it's good enough. Guess we'll fetch for no reason. Alright, Miracle. That was not the miracle we needed. So, I could play Breach, escape, bounce the Alpine Moon, twiddle into Eve, but that doesn't actually do anything here. They just got us fair and square. We boarded in a lot of answers, and unfortunately, we only drew the single Void Snare, so it happens. Losses, you know, they're part of Magic. 1-1, 3 rounds left to go. Playing your favorite combo deck in paper just got so much easier with the Epic Storm Mini Token Pack. You can pick one up at theepicstorm.com/shop for $13. It includes 64 double-sided mini tokens. That's 128 tokens total. And they include 10 black, 10 blue, 10 red, 5 green, 5 white, 3 colorless, 20 storm counters. That means that you can count your way all the way up to 20 for Grape Shot, everyone's favorite Stormwind condition, a Galvanic Relay Exile Indicator, 4 treasure tokens for Strike It Rich, and then 10 monk tokens for our vintage friends. It also has Slime Time Live, Ave Progenitor Ooze tokens with the power and toughness already built in to make playing in paper so much easier. No fumbling around with dice. We've got you covered. Make sure to go grab those if you're playing Modern. And then Squirrels versus Goblins, Chatterstorm versus Empty the Warrens, the Battle of the Ages. You definitely need 20 Squirrel tokens and 20 Goblin tokens. You're going to love this mini token pack, I promise. And once again, you can grab that at theepicstorm.com/shop. Match number 3, we're on the draw once again, and we've opened up a pretty interesting hand here with Triple Bobble. I am going to keep it because a second land means that we have access to this Wishclaw Talisman for Lotus Field, Force of Negations, you know, possibly a good card here. Interesting. Concealed Courtyard. Hammertime doesn't keep hands that just pass, so that's a little daunting. Alright. Let's see what's going on here with these baubles. So the first one at me's pretty free. I would like a twiddle, so I'm going to keep that. And then we'll pass. Draw off bauble, and now let's target them. Ooh, so they're Esper Reanimator. Okay. I'm going to let that resolve. Archon, okay. It could have been a... Ooh, I'm going to keep that too. That could have been a... what is it called? Seer's Emissary, which would have been more scary in my opinion. But now we get to draw 3 cards here. And now I'm in a fetch and shock. I wanted the twiddle, but now we're going to thin because it's a blind draw. Draw. Bobble number 4, just like we drew it up, and another Force of Negation. Okay, so I'll grab the island. Wishclaw. And Bobble. And I'm just going to target them. Marsh Flats, okay. So the reason to target them now is that I think I want, if I draw like a cantrip here, I'd rather pitch a cantrip to, okay, that I think might be the one next turn. Like if I had a double force, I don't want to have to pitch one of the twiddles, I guess is what I'm trying to say here. Okay. So I have a win as long as I don't pitch a twiddle. And our opponent doesn't have anything, I mean. So now we draw. That is a dead card. Now we go get Lotus Field, float a blue, play the field, sacrifice some lands. Twiddle. Yes. Add blue. Twiddle. Yes. Add red. And roll breach. Okay, now we twiddle. Pretty free to just remove the baubles here. Those aren't going to do anything. Our opponent, it seems like they might have something here, but I'm not sure what they're trying to accomplish. And I'm going to keep the fourth bauble just in case something funny happens. And it looks like now they're F6'd. Let's cast a wish. And scour. And at this point, we just have to cleanly execute the combo. I just clicked on my life total with that twiddle. I don't know what I was expecting to happen there. And let's leave the Pact of Negation in the graveyard, because that can give us a little bit of backup. Storm is 8. Okay, we can remove one of these wishes. We don't need 3 of them. And at this point, my entire goal is to not misclick. Okay, Storm 11. We can twiddle. Untap. It's like so much fun to play. I really do enjoy it. Scour. Inquisition. Visions. Okay, 18 cards left in deck. 13, and then this will bring it down to 8 in deck. All right, and now we have to twiddle. Okay, yes. It's from 16, and they're at 20. So one scour is sort of free here. You remove another scour, because that brings us down to 3 cards in deck. You'll notice that both this game and the game from round number 1 that we won, we got down to 3 cards in deck, which can be a little bit awkward. And the reason that I bring up this tidbit for you is that in games with Thassa's Oracle, if you're playing an Oracle-based list, there's games where you'll have to scour yourself right there and then be short on resources, which does come up. Because people think that Thassa's Oracle in this Breach deck is just completely free, and it isn't. I did a lot of testing with Oracle, and there was just games where you didn't have enough cards, so you'd have to empty your deck to play around removal, but then you didn't have enough mana to twiddle Wish into a sideboard Oracle. So I ended up finding that Oracle is honestly a little bit of a liability. So I ended up moving away from it, partially because of that. Like, I understand that Oracle's just like a super clean win, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's better. Okay. Game number 1 over Esper Reanimator. Let's see if we can find a recent list on Goldfish. Alright, so I've brought up a recent list. Leyline of the Void. I don't love that. Chalice of the Void in the board. Is this the new norm? Let's check out another list. We have 2 minutes to figure this out. Leyline of Sanctity. So it looks like I might have to board in a few bounce spells. That's the first list we clicked on. What about this list? The Fairy Kaya's Guile. Looks like they're a little bit all over the place here. Chalice of the Void, Dothy. Okay, so we have about 1:40 left. Stony Silence, Thoughtseize, Push. They look a little bit all over the place, so I think I'm going to board in just... maybe I'll board in the Echoing Truth because it answers Chalice. That way I at least have something to go grab. Let me check the list one more time to see like what sort of counterspell interaction do they have. It looks like they're off of counterspells for the most part. Well, this list has 4 counter target spell in it. Maybe I'm wrong. I think I'm just going to shave a Serum Visions for this Echoing Truth and call it a day. Reveal our Lurrus, our cat companion. Pretty good hand. Definitely keeping this. When it took a mulligan to 5 to 4. They have a leyline in their deck. If they're mulliganing this aggressively, they're definitely just looking for leyline. No leyline there. 4 cards is certainly a difficult way to win. I found that Modern tends to be a more punishing format for mulligans as well. Let's just lead on the Watery Grave. Normally I like leading on a fetch, but I feel like this isn't going to be just like a race. Ooh, that's a good 4 though. Let's get rid of the Unmarked Grave. And they've conceded. Okay, we're 2-1. We're just gonna win the next 2, hopefully. See you there. Hey, you're still watching. Don't forget to like this video, leave a comment, and subscribe. If you're looking to make a purchase from Card Hoarder, TCG Player, or Amazon and are looking to support us, you can open up our description down below, and in there you will find our affiliate links. Those same links are found on the homepage of the Epic Storm. But that's not all. We've included a Card Hoarder button on our website that will load the Epic Storm in your Card Hoarder cart to make life simple for you. Match number 4, we are on the play. Reveal our Lurrus. This seems fine. I'll try this out. Keep. Our opponent, while having a Lurrus icon, is not playing the cat. Alright, so... honestly, I think you're supposed to bobble yourself, which seems a little crazy. We'll keep that. And the reason to bobble yourself is that if you draw into Consider, you can cast it on the first turn. You do lose out on the equity of like avoiding discard spells. I'm aware of that. Like that doesn't escape me, but you just can't assume that your opponents are always going to be playing discard. That's how I feel about it, because like the tempo swing of drawing Consider there is just so much higher. And this hand's shaping up to be a pretty good hand because this Wish Claw is going to go get Lotus Field. We have protection with the Inquisition, and then this Wish represents both Underworld Breach and the Tome Scour. Alright, let's slam the Claw. Our opponent fetched an island, and now it's their turn. Oh, they cycled a Striped Riverwinder. I missed that. Okay, so this is a tough matchup if they're on Living End. That's a Waker of Waves. Yep. Yeah, I do not like this matchup for the most part. It is a little bit better now with Force of Negation. That was a good draw. But it's still tough. What do you have? Brazen Borrower and a bunch of nonsense. Okay, so... I think I take the Borrower. So next turn, let's say I start the turn with 3 lands in play. I just want to talk this through. 3 lands in play, tap the island, go get Lotus Field. Float 2 mana. Play the field. Twiddle Twiddle Wish. So I'd have 2 lands going to the graveyard, so that's 6, 9. I think I'm card short. So if that's the case, I want to activate the Claw now. If I'm card short, because this saves a bunch of mana. So let's play the Lotus Field. And now they have to choose between giving me back Claw or putting their creatures in a play off the Shardless Agent. Waker of Waves, okay. So they chose to not use Wish Claw. They milled a Grief, okay. So do we think that they found Force of Negation? Because if they don't have Force, we just win here. I think we have to go for it. Twiddle. Yes. Twiddle. I wonder if we have enough mana to protect ourselves with Negation here. All right. Did you find it? This is such a tough matchup. This pause is making me uncomfortable. So if they don't have it, they can cycle the Striped Riverwinder looking for it. Okay, so that resolved. That's a good sign. Now we can play our Underworld Breach. I suppose they could also just force this. And I could force a negation back, but I'd be tapped out. So it's just Bobble Equity at that point. Alright, so they're cycling the Riverwinder. Did you find it? And they've conceded. Nice! Stole game number 1 from a very difficult matchup. And let's find their deck list on Goldfish. Well, the 4-color Living End deck on Goldfish, at least. Looks like it's fallen off the front page. Oh, it didn't. I just... Or maybe it did. It's right here behind Mill. Alright, so Subtlety Leyline. Fairy Macabre. It's a lot of graveyard hate. Endurance plus Fairies. See what this list. This list 5-0'd recently. Endurance, Force of Vigor. Yeah, Leyline of Sanctity. Just a lot. So we definitely want the packs here. I mean, we could board in the Void Snare as well, and then just board out the Baubles, so that way we have a bunch of blue cards in our deck for Force. I don't hate that. This seems okay enough. One of the problems, in my opinion, with not boarding in a bounce ball for Leyline is that it ends up being really resource heavy at the end, where let's assuming you're in the middle of an average combo turn, you'll need enough mana to go Wish, Void Snare, Wish, Grape Shot, and have Lethal Storm, and enough like extra cards in the graveyard to do it. It can happen, but it usually means a slower game where you had time to build up your graveyard a lot. Okay, revealing our cat companion. This seems like a reasonable hand of cards. We just need to find Lotus Field. Keep. Spirebluff Canal. And it looks like they're just passing the turn. Fetch land. We're just going to play Misty Pass. Cast Inquisition. Or, I'm sorry, not Inquisition. Consider on their end step. So the idea behind holding Inquisition for a turn is that they're going to get some cycles in. And with that, their hand's going to change. So I want to hold the Inquisition just for one turn to get a better look at their cards. Cycling the Curator of Mysteries, you got it. Grief. Well, they removed a Fairy Macabre. Honestly, that's sort of a win for me. If they're removing Fairy Macabre to play Grief. Cast this Consider. That can go to the graveyard. Land number 4 is not ideal, that's for sure. So if I had to guess, they're probably going to take the Inquisition here, because the Inquisition can stop them from cascading back into the Grief. Grief basically represents a double discard spell. Not surprised by that pick. Draw. We just have to pass the turn. Waker? Yep. So if you wanted to, you could twiddle a land looking to potentially stop them from playing a cascade spell. I don't think that's a winning strategy, in my opinion, just because we're so far behind. Yeah, they just got us this game. All right, let's concede. They also didn't wait till our turn to play the Violent Outburst. So if I had managed to have drawn a Force, I could have stopped them there. It didn't happen, but just pointing that out. I'm going to keep this, or keep it as is, I should say. And I got a little bit punished there for not just playing the Inquisition on turn 1. So maybe I'll be a little bit more aggressive this game. I'm not sure. It's also just like, I know that I won game 1, but it is a very, very difficult matchup, even with the Forces. All right, so on the play for the third game, Lurrus. So we have Lotus Field, which is one of the best things that we want in the matchup. But 4 lands other than field is a lot, even with having a force. I don't know how to feel about this. I don't know. Am I crazy for wanting to keep it? I'm going to. Just hope for the best. Okay. Flooded Strand pass. Cycle Street Wraith. And again. Looted Delta. So that makes for a very good quick living end. Why not? Let's get the Hallowed Fountain. Maybe we'll throw him off a little bit. Dream's Grip. Maybe they'll respect something like Silence out of us. Not that we're playing Silence, but you never know. Okay. Watery Grave. Draw. Let's play the Inquisition. You could hold up Force, but I think I'm going to just play the Lotus Field this turn. They have Mystical Dispute. Yikes. Pass the turn, so now they get to discard Waker here. They have triple Cascade spell too, so they're going to get 3 shots at Living End here. Interesting that they waited till my turn this time. And drawing another land was not ideal. Even if we drew Breach, we can't win. I guess if I drew Wish... Counter. So now they can play the Shardless Agent. Draw. Void Snare, not ideal here. Got punished for boarding in for Leyline. I guess it would have been a bobble, so it's not like it would have been amazing. I have to pack this. Unfortunately, they still have one more Cascade spell in their hand, and I don't have a third counterspell for the last Living End. So I think the only way we win is if they accidentally drew the third one. Or if they boarded one out. Okay, so I might as well fetch here, pull a land out. Alright, I have to pay for the pack trigger. You have a third Violent Outburst. Sure. And they did have a third Living End in their deck. And I think that's just game. Yep. And they get to Architects of Wilmy. Yeah. I don't know. You could argue that maybe I was supposed to mulligan my hand. Like, this is actually a much closer match than it should have been. Sure. Now I have to pay for the pack trigger. Okay. Even if I drew Breach here, I couldn't win. I'm at 17. Let's say it bounced the Waker. 3, 10, 16. Maybe there's a chance. Yeah, no, that's exactly 17. I miscounted. It's exactly 17. That's a bummer. I mean, I didn't have another play anyway, so it's not like it really mattered. Our opponent's just cycling, getting that scry equity in with your Curator of Mysteries. Honestly, a little bit of showboating here, but it's fine. I decided not to concede. I decided that I was going to make them attack me, so I get it. Alright, and we are dead to exact lethal, unfortunately. Our next draw would have been a Twiddle. So we actually could have tried to go for it if our opponent had nothing, but they had lethal on top of, you know, triple Cascade. It happens. We're 2-2. Head up. Let's just win match number 5. If you're looking for more great Magic the Gathering content, definitely check out the Eternal Glory podcast. It is myself, Bryant Cook, alongside Brian Koval and Phil Gallagher. We primarily discuss Legacy. That said, a lot of what we talk about transcends all formats. We're available on all major podcast platforms. The final match. We're on the play, and while we do have Lotus Field, this hand is a mulligan. Really good hand. We'll try this. This hand just wants to find a wish, and then we're golden. Okay. Strand pass on their end step. We'll cast Consider. It's a mirror. Not so much anymore. Alright, what are you playing? A Hate Bear deck of sorts? I'm not really sure. We'll cast Consider. We'll keep Serum Visions. Alright, so some sort of Vile strategy. Another Visions. We could be looking at winning next turn depending on what these Visions find. First one? We can bottom the Inquisition. We'll keep the Bauble though. And then we'll draw into the Bauble. I don't think third Twiddle's what we need here. And unfortunately, I think speed is an issue against the Temple Garden deck. I'm just going to Bauble them now. Collected Company, okay. So they're probably not a Thalia deck if that's the case. It might be like Bant Spirits. That is a realistic possibility here. We found a Twiddle anyway, so we just need to find a wish. Alright, so I do think it's Bant Spirits. What is that? Okay. Wish. Hey, we found it. Lotus Field. So the card that we want to be worried about here would be Maelstrom Wander. It's not Maelstrom Wander. Why can't I think of it? It's the blue 1/1 spirit that you can sacrifice and Curse Catcher. Gets larger. Mausoleum Wanderer. There we go. I thought of it. Whoops. Cancel. Untap. Okay. You can have a Noble Hierarch. Wish. Underworld Breach. Twiddle. Yes. Tap for blue. Twiddle again. They're at 16? I think we might be one card short. I'm not sure. So we have 6 cards in the graveyard. I escaped 3 for Wish. This might just be lethal. To remove 3. No, this is lethal. Grape shot, grape shot. Okay. Good deal. Grape shot you. 1 game away from getting our money back. Woot woot. Andre Segarra rolling over in his chair right now. Sorry, Dre, but the spirits need to lose. Okay, so I think Pact of Negation is a card we're interested in here. So if you think about the Spirits deck, they're a Collected Company deck, and they want to cast that as an instant in case they hit Spell Queller. Pact of Negation counter Spell Queller. They are playing Collected Company, which means that there's a chance they're on Endurance. So I think it's sort of a no-brainer here. Force of Negation is a card I'm actually less interested in, because we're not really looking to force their effects. But instead, I think we want something like Prismatic Ending. And you could even board in like Void Snare or Echoing Truth. I don't know if you want to leave one Bauble. Like, there's a couple different ways you could board here. I guess we're boarding out the forces, so like in theory, it's better to take out something like Serum Visions. Or we could do a 3-2 split instead. Let's try this. This is about sort of what I was talking about how I just try things. Because, I don't know, like, sometimes you'll find that certain splits are better. And if you always board the same way with like absolute authority that you think you're right, you're not really learning anything. And most of the time that I play these decks, I'm just looking to learn a little bit more about them each time. This hand seems okay enough. We'll try it. Another card we might want to be afraid of, by the way, is Force of Vigor. I talked about Endurance, but Force of Vigor blowing up Breach or Wishclaw is also dangerous. Windswept Teeth, getting Temple Garden again, probably a Vial. Noble Hierarch, okay. Consider. I don't mind picking up Consider here. Okay, I am going to cast it in response to the Wanderer, though. Okay. I'm gonna mill that. So I milled the ending because I was like, oh, I didn't end up fetching a white source. And then I immediately draw the white source that I milled the ending for. Another Twiddle isn't bad. Alright, let's play the Talisman. You cannot counter Talisman with this thing. It says instant or sorcery. Okay, pass the turn. Am I getting Brazen Borrowed here? What's going on? Rattle Chains? Ice Fang. So it's more of a Bant Flash deck than a Spirits deck? Spirit, okay. Damping Sphere, that hurts. That hurts a lot. Okay. I do have 3 more endings left in the deck. They have 2 cards. I think I'm just going to get Lurrus here. So I go to 12, put Lurrus to hand. 3 cards for our opponent. Skyclave. Yikes. Okay. Draw. Play Lurrus and pass. Lurrus isn't doing a whole lot here, unfortunately. Although next turn... Yeah, that's fine. I could wish into E for 2 through the Damping Sphere. I just don't know if I'm going to be fast enough for that. Yeah. So they are a Spirits deck, but for some reason they have Ice Fang Quaddle. Am I just dead here? Blocked the Apparition, and then essentially take 2. The problem is I don't think the Wish line is going to be fast enough. I go to 6. Yeah, this Damping Sphere just wrecked me. And then with the fetch, I would go to 5. But I can only play the E. I can't activate it. Draw. Okay. I think they just got me here. The next turn, they're attacking for more than 6 in the air. Yeah, I can't do anything. Alright, game 3. So now it's, did I board wrong? That's a legitimate question here. So maybe we don't want the packs. And if they have Damping Sphere, maybe I bring the Force back in. If that's the case, we board out the Baubles. Or maybe I'd keep in some number of Pact. But maybe I board in 2 more answers. And then that brings me up to 59. And I bring like 1 pack back in for Wishclaw. Let's try it. Alright, game 3 against Spirits. Reveal Lurrus. Sure. We have ending to possibly hit Damping Sphere. We don't have Lotus, but this hand's pretty good otherwise. Could also possibly hit a Vial with this Prismatic Ending. Blooded Strand. Temple Garden again. So is a Hierarch or Vial? Noble Hierarch. So I wonder if I'm supposed to remove that with ending just to slow them down. Okay. Draw. I think the answer is yeah, I'm just going to remove the Hierarch. Tempo is a big part of this game. And do I want to shock myself here for a red source for the Wish? I think I'm going to pass on that and just cast the Consider Off File and save 2 life. That can go straight to the graveyard. Okay, so next turn I can also just put Lurrus to my hand, which might be the play. They're at 15 off of the Hallowed Fountain. Vile. I'm gonna let that one go. I could counter it, but I don't think that's what the matchup's about. And Wanderer, sure. 3 cards in our opponent's hand. I'm gonna go to 16 and cast the Inquisition. Another Vile. I could just take the Ice Fang. And then let's consider... That can go to the graveyard. Okay. Floating out a little bit here. I think the plan next turn is going to be to put Lurrus to hand. So we know that they have Rattle Chains and Vial number 2. Interesting. Chose not to play the extra Vial. Okay. So they can play the Rattle Chains here. Yep. So they have Vial and 1 Unknown in hand, about to go up to 2. Auto yield to that, that's fine. So we'll take 3 going to 12, and then we're going to fetch down to 11. Play the other Vial. So now they're just down to 2 Unknowns in hand. Something I could do here is wish for EE for 1. And then I can start using that with Lurrus over and over to just like continually wipe their board. Wish. Okay. So this makes Mausoleum Wanderer a 2/2. And if they sack the Wanderer, I have to fetch to pay, but then I can just get a bauble that I can use with the Lurrus anyway. So it's sort of a win for me, in my opinion. Grab the island, and I will gladly pay for the Wanderer. Okay, the Wish. Another choice here is instead of getting Bauble, I could just get the E anyway, play it for 0, and then next turn play Lurrus, but that's cutting it really close on life points, so I think I'm just going to get the Bauble. Target them. They have 1 Unknown. Cavernous Souls, I don't care about that. Alright, draw off Bauble, Twiddle. I mean, I am getting pretty close to death. After this attack, assuming they don't pump these somehow, I'll be going to 6. Alright, so 6 it is. Draw. Wish Claw. That's not a bad one. I think I'm going to play Lurrus. So the mana's a little awkward here because I can't play Claw and Lurrus this turn. Bobble them. Chalice of the Void. Oh my. So in theory, I can actually... I need to think about this. I can go to 3, play Wish Claw, twiddle one of the Rattle Chains, and then force the Chalice. It's really close. I'm definitely like playing with fire here. Okay. Play the Claw. Okay. Just need to hope that their last card in hand is a do nothing. So draw off Bauble. That's a card that has text on it. Okay, so they draw Chalice of the Void for turn. We're going to force that. Pitch Twiddle. And then tap a Rattle Chains. Go to 1. Oh, they were sandbagging a creature this whole time? Oh, that's brutal. Oh, and they had the captain. They could have put that into play last turn and chose not to. That's interesting that they had the captain the whole time. I mean, we couldn't have done anything anyway, so we're just dead here. Props to our opponent. Well played, I guess. But unfortunately, that is a 2-3. So we faced red-black, which is a bad matchup. We faced Living End, which is a bad matchup. I imagine Spirit players think they're favored. It's probably closer than what they're willing to agree with. But the Damping Sphere Chalice of the Void deck we gave a good run for its money. I'm not upset with a 2-3. Bad leagues happen every once in a while. You can't let them get to you. Like I said, my last time playing this deck, I went 4-1. Time before that, I had a 5-0 with this new list. So take it with a grain of salt. Sometimes you just don't win. Thank you for watching. Keep storming. And before you ask in the comments, no, I would still not change anything in this deck list. This deck list is terrific. Sometimes you just run bad. Have a great day. See you next time. Hey, Bryant Cook here. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like and subscribe, but also follow the social media channels down below. If you want to support this content directly, I would recommend going to theepicstorm.com/shop. And if you need a little bit of assistance with the Epic Storm to get to that next level, I would recommend going to theepicstorm.com/tutoring. Don't worry, there's more great content coming right up.